Bitcoin is coming up on a bullish daily close. Obviously, it crashed to around $89,000 last night before rebounding. Those of you that are not new to the channel know that I opened up 2 long positions on Ethereum and Solana just because obviously after 4 weeks of just down only, it's going to make a lot of sense to at least put in some kind of bounce short term because there's just a lot of seller exhaustion in my opinion. And I think that, you know, at the very minimum, we can expect some kind of mean reversion, maybe up to like the low 100s. And I think at that point, it's going to be very important to pay attention to how the price action kind of responds because, you know, if this is a bear market, which a lot of people are of the opinion of, then probably what we're going to witness is some kind of lower high. Now, that could be anywhere between $105,000 to about $115,000 in my opinion. And that could trick a lot of people into thinking that the cycle is not over. They kind of FOMO back into the market and then the prices ultimately go lower. So that's something that just, you know, be on the lookout for that. And I think if we're really bullish and we're going to challenge all-time highs, we need to go up to about $106,000 to $107,000. We need to flip that into support. And then until then, I think if we can close that above like a weekly candle, I think that it's really possible that we can go to all-time highs to see how that kind of, you know, plays out. I think that we're also going to have a very, I would say not super bullish, but I think that we're going to have a positive week when it comes to just the price action. I think that stocks have also been kind of consolidating. And so assuming that we make a very positive earnings when it comes to NVIDIA tomorrow, I think that that's going to pave the way for a bullish outlook when it comes to these stocks. Obviously, we have like JP Morgan and all these major banks. They're kind of signaling that they want their money still in the market. I think that they cannot afford to have this massive like disaster going on. And so I think that they're going to kind of try to keep the Ponzi running as long as possible, so to speak. And I think that obviously we have a huge data report that's going to come out on Thursday. And then we had the jobless claims that got revised this morning, showing that, you know, there's a lot more people that were basically like losing their jobs or something of that sort. So basically that means that, you know, the probabilities that we're going to have a rate cut is going to be increased. And obviously markets, they don't like uncertainty, right? And so I think that that's why the markets have been so shaky, because ever since Powell kind of spoke out last FOMC meeting, he said that rate cuts were not a lock. And ever since then, you know, Bitcoin has basically sold off. And that was pretty much the catalyst to put us at where we are now. Now, obviously on a large time frame, you know, analysis, could you make the case that the bull year cycle or the 4-year bull cycle is over? Yes, you could make the case, but I wouldn't be so quick to call it because we're just in such a different kind of landscape. And so I'm just going to continue to monitor the market, look at technical analysis, macro environment situations, and just kind of how liquidity kind of flows. Because there's just so much stuff going on, it's just way too early to tell. And anybody that tells you otherwise, they're just guessing. So again, I think that, you know, this is not a time to get complacent or comfortable. I do think we're going to have a little bit of a relief rally going into probably the end of this week, hopefully. And we're going to see how Bitcoin and altcoins perform. So with that being said, I just wanted to bring you a very time-sensitive update. If you're not already subscribed, make sure you subscribe, smash the like button, turn on bell notifications. I share things that are very time-sensitive, and I hope you guys understand what's going on in the crypto market. If you guys have any questions, comments, just leave them below, and I will basically make content on those if they're worth talking about. See y'all soon. Bye.